Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chanel joined Paulina at the table at her and Abe's house and informed her mother of her new bakery ambitions. Paulina reluctantly offered to persuade Chanel to unquit after Chanel emphasized the extra time she had since leaving Body and Soul. Chanel didn't think seeing Johnny and Joy at work every day would benefit her, even if she hated to leave Abe in a lurch. Paulina acknowledged this and said Abe would need to return to Plan A. Paulina's answer caused Chanel to furrow her brow. Chanel took the news that her character Faith would be killed off with a start. She complained that she was failing her persona. Paulina also suggested that Chanel go back and shoot her leaving sequences to make it right for Faith, Abe, and Kate. Kate was at the Body and Soul office when Abe called. He told her that Lady Whistleblower was actually Javi, Gabi's cousin, according to Leo. Kate hung up, and Hattie, wearing a hat and dark sunglasses, walked into the office. Hattie clarified that she had remained anonymous in case Abe and Kate had desired to conceal Charlemagne's homecoming. Nora Desmond was cautioned by an irate Kate not to get ahead of herself. Kate made it clear to Hattie that she would not put up with any more diva behavior and that she would not be receiving any special treatment. After examining a contract that Kate had given her, Hattie expressed dissatisfaction with the duration of the agreement and the compensation she would be getting. Given that it was the same contract Bonnie presently held, Kate believed the offer was more than reasonable. Hattie should also view the contract as probationary. Admire Days, B&B, General Hospital, or other soap operas. Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right away, click here. Leo broke up Carrie and Javi's afterglow in Javi's bedroom. Carrie and Javi both insisted that Leo go. Unfazed, Leo announced his intention to expose Lady Whistleblower. Javi looked perplexed, assuming Leo was accusing him once more. Leo stared at Carrie and explained that he knew it wasn't Javi. Leo resisted Carrie's demand that he march his ass out of the room. Carrie and Leo insulted one another until Javi cut them off and demanded that Leo clarify his suspicion that Carrie was a lady whistleblower. Leo confirmed, "I know she is, I don't think she is." Carrie made an effort to persuade Javi that Leo was envious of their bond. That was true, Leo admitted, but he had evidence. He sat down and explained how it was found that Lady Whistleblower had ties to Rochester. He had gotten the hint from Carrie's hoodie. Carrie maintained that he was not a lady whistleblower simply because he was from Rochester. Leo explained his fictitious possession narrative and the trap he had planned for Carrie. Leo grinned and said, "This cunning bitch walked right into it." Carrie denied being a lady whistleblower when Javi asked him directly. Leo's conversation may have easily been overheard. Leo grinned broadly and asserted that Rafe had obtained footage of Carrie entering his room. Carrie began, but stopped himself, to say that he had deleted the security film. Leo declared that Carrie had been played with a smug grin. When Carrie finally acknowledged being Lady Whistleblower, he said that he had once broken into Leo's room and installed a gadget on his computer that allowed him to monitor every keystroke Leo made. It wasn't until Carrie reminded him that he had turned down Carrie's approaches that Leo realized why Carrie had made it so personal. For Carrie, the episode was humiliating. Carrie was also upset that Leo had used poor writing to destroy a show he had adored. Carrie and Leo began yelling at each other again after the insult. Jumping out of bed and telling Carrie to leave his room and his life, Javi put an end to it. Carrie couldn't believe Javi wanted to end their relationship because he had been cruel to Leo. Javi explained that Carrie had broken into Leo's room, which was illegal. Even worse, Carrie had knowingly allowed Javi to be held accountable for his own acts. Carrie refuted Leo's accusation that she had also contaminated the cupcakes. Carrie was told to leave by Javi once more. Carrie eventually told Javi it was his loss and complied. When they were by themselves, Leo thanked Javi for defending him, and Javi expressed regret. Javi was reassured by Leo that he had nothing to regret. Carrie was correct about one thing, Javi admitted. Javi had yet to move on from Leo. They kissed each other. Leo stepped back and suggested that they go more slowly. Javi smiled, gave Leo another kiss, and dragged him onto the bed. Bonnie asked Johnny to delete a sentence from her script on the Body and Soul Hospital set. Since he had just lost the love of my life, he didn't worry about losing a line. Because of gossip monger Seth Burns, Johnny was irritated but not shocked that Bonnie was already aware of his and Chanel's issues. Bonnie expressed her condolences to Johnny and expressed her hope that he and Joy had at least utilized protection. Bonnie was surprised that Chanel had become so agitated when Johnny said it hadn't come to that. Johnny justified Chanel's response by reminding Bonnie that he had betrayed his wife's confidence and had fabricated several stories to hide it. He then disclosed that since Chanel had resigned, there would be no conflict between her and Joy on set. Since Arrow and Faith were the most popular pair on the show, Bonnie was concerned about the effect. Johnny hinted that Arrow will most likely be obtaining a new romantic partner. Faith's farewell sequences would shortly be shot. Joy was picked up for work by Alex outside the Brady pub. Abe had wanted to talk to Joy, and Joy was anxious. She was afraid he would let her go. Later, Alex showed up on set with a still fretting Joy. When Abe came over to them, Joy forced a grin. He had to talk about Joy hooking up with Alex. Anxiously, Joy and Alex inquired as to if Abe was having trouble hooking up. Abe's simple response that it might be hot took them by surprise. Alex and Joy recognized that Abe was referring to their characters when he added that the fans would eventually embrace it. Arrow and Reagan would start dating, Abe confirmed. Hopefully, Joy inquired as to whether that meant she would not be sacked. Abe understood that the show had to go on even if he didn't like how Johnny and Joy had harmed Chanel. Abe inquired as to whether he and Joy were romantically involved after Alex remarked on their real-life chemistry. Joy stumbled when she mentioned that Abe's response to Alex and Stephanie's relationship was the reason she hadn't spoken out. Because of the power imbalance between Alex and Stephanie, Abe thought the circumstance was unique. He wanted to know more about the two's personal relationship. When they stammered out a reply, Abe grinned and promised to give them some time to think it out. Joy and Alex agreed that they needed to clarify their relationship after Abe left. Joy acknowledged that she didn't want to put any pressure on Alex due of his split from Stephanie. Since Stephanie had moved on, Alex reasoned he should too. Joy and Alex were in agreement that they enjoyed each other's company. Alex decided to make his relationship with Joy complicated. Joy concurred with Alex's conclusion as she observed Johnny and Chanel running into each other. Chanel responded angrily when Joy came up to her, declaring that her sole purpose was to complete Faith's scenes. Chanel fiercely reaffirmed that her generosity was for Abe's benefit when Johnny attempted to thank her for agreeing to work her last day. The fact that Abe had agreed to her plea to be released from her contract still made her joyful. Chanel's last scene, which started with a conflict with Joy's character Reagan, was later called to action by Johnny. In the scene, Arrow and Reagan were in awe at their child's ultrasound image. Chanel, posing as Faith, rushed up to them and started implying that Reagan was attempting to impersonate Arrow as the father of someone else's child. Regarding how excited Arrow had been the night they became parents, Reagan nudged Faith. Faith pulled back and gave Reagan a forceful slap across the cheek.